Checka. Oh, we're on?
Yeah.
How many times does that happen?
This is how it always starts.
And very perfect.
This is how it always starts. It's always a slow roll.
Well, you gotta get the followers.
Yeah, you gotta get them
Right,
to come
right,
in.
right.
So you just,
Yeah,
let all the stupid stuff out in the beginning.
exactly.
So welcome everyone. We are the Sweet Talkers, and this is the Pajama Party podcast.
With no more pajamas.
No more pajamas.
We had a plan
People
to
were-
give our guests under pressure pajamas.
Aw,
But we're not under pressure anymore, and we don't wear under pressure pajamas anymore.
Well, I'm wearing sweatpants, but you can't tell because I'm behind the table. I feel like I'm
You're
dressed
gonna go.
down because everybody else is wearing blue jeans, but
When we up the
You can't even
production
tell.
value, we'll get a back camera to so that people can
so
see.
that you could see the pants.
Yeah, you can see the.
I'll trade spots with you if you want.
uh,
I don't like
You
this
can
spot.
really see your pants, if that's what you're talking about. You think that they could see what you're...
Pants. What's that thing, the tight pants video? Have you seen it? We should probably introduce who you are before I start talking
So-
to you.
Mysterious voice.
I set it up. Mike was supposed to take it as
we
planned, and he
we started
didn't.
talking about the
Started talking about
pajamas.
pants. I don't
and
know
the
what
pants.
happened. Is it check? Are we on?
I'm going to attempt
do-
also to follow this on what is this? Instagram.
You just had it up.
No, that was my own
Do you want me
profile.
to spell it for you?
So don't I need to be on the Sweet Talkers profile?
No, you don't want to be on this.
I don't want to be on
So
this.
we have a
Not-
we're getting way off track already.
Yes.
we have
I'll
a
try to figure this out. You
a
guys
special
go ahead.
segment we do every week called Teaching Joe Technology.
Oh, fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Not really.
it's fun for us.
Wow.
Um,
Wait. Okay.
Oh God.
See, it just. Oh, wait. Now the
Lesson
volume. All right. I think we're good to go now.
Woo.
Okay, and that's it. Wrap. We'll see you guys next week.
Thanks for coming.
Well, I do want to know how to share it.
You can't.
You can't share
You
on.
can't.
I don't know.
Lesson learned.
You can. You could say that you know, and then I look like an idiot. That's fine, Bri.
Yeah, no, I totally know how to do it.
Wait. So you can do it, or you can't do
I
it?
have no idea.
Oh.
I don't think you could do live ones. I think you could do regular ones, but that's a new thing.
What?
If anybody knows, please
Talk
post
into the
your
mic.
answer below. This is called teaching us how to do a podcast. If anybody has any suggestions, leave them in the comments.
Okay. Anyways, now that we're like 5 minutes into this, introducing our very special guest, Bri LoBue,
Hey,
singer of The Nines,
that's me.
and with some other people. I've seen you play with Remember Jones and all those other crazy
Couple
kids.
folks, yeah,
Yeah,
done
around town. I have like your whole career here.
Wow.
I feel like I stalked you.
Did you? How far back did you go?
Weird.
Way far back.
Uh-oh.
So,
Weird.
well, I was watching it was so interesting that I went to go try to find something to post that you were going to be on here today,
Right.
and you had shared this new thing on YouTube,
Correct.
which is called Chasing the Dream.
Look at you.
Yeah, and I watched it.
The whole thing.
I learned
Wow.
some things. So you have the one cool thing. We can promote all your stuff, but the one cool thing you released an EP on iTunes.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
Oh man, so that is, what year are we in? That was probably maybe like 5 years ago or so. Yeah, so it goes way back, but it was basically just like an all acoustic. It's just like me and a guitar. That's it. No vocal editing, nothing like that. It was just kind of like, I want to get some of my original music out there because nothing was out there. And so yeah, I was just like, that's it. No more waiting. Let me just do this raw acoustic EP and set it out into the world. So I did.
Sweet.
And it's still floating around there somewhere. I think.
Once it's on there, it never goes
Yeah,
away.
as much as I know, it's still on iTunes. Yeah. I don't think they kicked me off yet.
They haven't kicked us off yet, so
Yeah.
Sweet.
you're probably good.
Nice. Cool. Haven't checked.
That's awesome. There was You talked also about how you went to Hart School,
I did.
which I did not know.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, so Hart School, which for anybody who may not know, Hart School of Music. So it's music, dance, and theater.
In Hartford, Connecticut.
Right, in Hartford, Connecticut. And so I have a BFA in music theater.
That's pretty cool.
You did acting?
That's awesome.
I did.
What kind of acting did you do?
Well, so it was a conservatory program. So it was like intense. It was 7 days a week. So when most people are like, oh, we don't have classes on the weekends, I'm like, that must be nice. Because we would have to wake up, you know, whether it was for a rehearsal or for a class. And even on Sundays we had classes. So like all the time we took like a ridiculous amount of credits. No time to do anything else. People are like, ooh, sororities, fraternities. I'm like, again, that's nice. No time for any of that stuff. It's like the theater program was your
life.
Your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I loved it. I loved the Hart School, and I think that the training I got there was awesome. But they cover all grounds, like everything from, I did stand-up comedy when I was there.
Really?
Anything from that to like completely like full-blown drama, you know, anything you could think of.
That's awesome.
So,
do you have
yeah.
a stand-up routine?
I did. I mean, I'm definitely not going to do it right now.
Can we hear at least like one little piece, or at least let us know, like, cause see, now I'm curious how like they structure a class on being funny. Like,
Well,
what if you're just not
so
funny?
It's
Yeah.
not like it wasn't a class on being funny. It was part of the curriculum for that particular acting class. So it was just kind of like, and everybody knew, it was like, oh my gosh, when you get to like sophomore year or whatever it was, you have to do stand-up, which was like very scary to some people, but I kind of loved it.
That's
And,
awesome.
like, and you know, it wasn't like it was improvised, like you knew about it, so you prepped it. And like,
Right.
I remember doing it for my roommates and being like, do not just laugh if it's not funny. Like, if you don't think it's funny, I have to do this in front of people. So like, let's be real.
Tell me why.
So
but like, it went really well. And
do they send you out to like a club, like a comedy club?
So
and
funny story. I ended up doing it. I did my stand-up routine aside from doing it like in class in front of your peers, because that's what the assignment was. Like, you had to
Okay.
do it in front of all of your
that's
classmates
not
and
too
teachers,
bad.
which is not bad, but some people were, terrified.
Right.
But I ended up doing it at an event at a hotel in Connecticut. Don't even ask me how this happened. Literally in the middle of the lobby. I kid you not, because my family was there for an event with our family friends. And so one of my best friends' mom, she's like my number one fan. Like, everything I do, she is all about it. And she was like, Bri, you have to do your stand-up routine. Like, she's like, I heard what's in it. Like, you have to do it for everybody. So I literally did it in the middle of this lobby at a hotel in Connecticut. And like, strangers were there. Like, people came over and sat and watched. Like, so.
And how
yeah.
did it go?
Everybody was laughing.
No
so
tomatoes.
That's
Oh,
good.
that's
No
good.
tomatoes. Phew.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
I don't know.
I had a good time.
How hard is that to do that as a project, to maintain being clean and funny at the same
Well,
time?
you didn't have to be clean.
Was
Really?
yours
Yeah,
was
no, our
not clean?
program was like super chill. Like, oh my gosh, so not clean. Like, everybody, there were, I won't say them on the podcast, but some people were definitely not clean. Like, mine was,
I don't think I would be.
I think,
Mm.
if I remember correctly, mine was clean. But yeah, there were definitely no rules about like what you could and couldn't do. There were certain requirements. It was like, you needed at least 2 impressions. You needed, so there were certain things that you had to incorporate, which was like part
Wow.
of the process. Yeah.
So what impressions did you do?
No pressure.
You don't have to do them. I was just
Okay.
curious what they
I
were.
do a pretty mean Celine Dion and Britney Spears. And that was
Shocking that they're both musicians.
right.
Yeah,
like,
Both
yeah.
singers.
And so I definitely had both of those in there. And I also did like many impressions of people in my family, because I have some characters in my family. Like, my dad, who is the sweetest man on earth, looks like he could be in the mafia. And so does, you know, the rest of like super Italian family, and like my mom, who's from Staten Island, with like her full-blown accent. So there's a lot of good material there. I'm pretty lucky that I didn't have to work very hard for that, you know, good material.
Yeah.
I could make fun of my family
Right.
fairly easily.
That's cool.
So yeah, that helped, you know.
And then performing it for them in front of them.
Oh yeah, no, they loved it. Yeah, they loved it.
That's
That was
hilarious.
nice, you know. It was just like, yep, that's us. We can't lie. So yeah,
That's
a good
awesome. Good shit.
Cool.
Wish I was forced to do stand-up. I
Well,
would
we
say
could-
that
force
we-
yourself to do
I
it.
always say that I want to do it, and if Vicky was here, why every time she's not here, we're like, well, if Vicky was here,
Vicky, we're mad at you.
It's just
If
she
you're
even
tuning in,
on here.
I'm
probably
angry.
not. She's probably watching Grey's Anatomy for the
Whatever,
20th time.
Vicky.
But I'm always like, I'll always say something and she'll laugh and be like, see, I can do stand-up.
See-
She's like, no, you're not that funny.
She's like, I'm just laughing because I'm your friend, but no, I say like,
It's a
why
dream.
not? You can just like, I think the best test is to go to like a stand-up comedy night where nobody knows you, so it's like no pity laughs. Like you're
Yeah.
either funny or you're not.
Yeah.
But if you really want to do it, just be like, you know what? I'm gonna come up with a funny routine, and then nobody there knows you. So like, what's the difference?
Right.
I just
People
Well,
always
do
say,
it.
wait, hold on. Because people say that about
Oh,
all
just
kinds
this.
of things. Speaking in public,
Yeah.
singing, playing, whatever.
It's true.
It's like people, no one know. You're never going to see these people again. I don't think that makes it feel any better.
Also, that's not always true.
I
Because
know, I know.
we've had many, and I'm sure you have had many reoccurring visitors
Oh, for sure.
at gigs before.
Well, that's the
Many.
That's not
idea.
always
But
true.
that's different.
I know.
Like,
That's the goal.
if you're in your element, you know, that's a different story. But if
Right.
you just wanted to do something completely like, this is not me, but I have like bucket list, always
Right.
wanted to do it. Like, what are the odds that you're going to run into somebody who is at that random comedy night, like
Totally.
stand-up night? Like, oh my God, are you that really terrible comedian I saw that one night? Yes, that was me. Like,
But imagine it happens at a gig and it's like, don't quit your
And
day
you're
job
like,
or
yeah.
night job.
you're like, at
However
least
you wanna
now
look.
you see I actually am talented, right?
You
So
should
we're
do
cool.
that at gigs when you guys play. Just like get there early and do a stand-up
an
set.
opening act.
Yeah, just do like 10 minutes before, just like and it's
I think during the sets, I'm just going to be like, guys, my real job is I'm actually a stand-up comedian.
right,
So, you know, if the singing sucks, just know that what I actually do is comedy.
right.
Although I have made fun of audience members before.
Yeah.
See? You're
Yeah.
ready.
Uh,
That's like the
I mean-
go-to thing that a comedian does,
Yeah.
right?
make
Like,
fun of the
Hey,
audience.
where are you
make
from?
fun of
Definitely
everybody.
Yeah.
That's like the
Yeah.
opening, you know, their go-to line. You just find
See,
my name
I
is
could
Guy.
be so self-conscious that I won't even want to sit in the audience. You know?
You're the guy hiding in the
Yeah.
back, like, please don't see me.
And of course, those are the ones that they pick on the most.
Exactly.
I've had-
they feed off of that.
I've had both of those experiences. I was in the city, and I was there for whatever reason, but I was dating this girl at the time, and I was like, let's go see some stand-up. I always like wanted to go to all those like clubs in the city.
Oh, they're great.
She's like, no, I don't want to go. They're going to pick on me. She was like freaking out. I was like, we were walking past pretty much just a bar, and there was a guy on the street like,
handing out the flyers.
handing out the flyers, like, come in, you'll get like a free drink, and you just get to sit. So like we went in.
Right.
I like forced her to go in. Went in, so we go in, and it's just a bar, and I'm like, where are they doing comedy?
Right.
You had to go behind this curtain, and it was basically the storage room.
Stop.
It was a storage room. Like they had extra like high tops on the side stacked up, and then they had this makeshift stage in the back.
Are you
So-
sure you weren't getting murdered? Or
Luckily, we did not. And so we like sat down like way in the back in the corner, and one of the guys comes on stage, says one shitty joke, and that's all he had.
Stop.
And then the rest of the time he was just like, so where are you guys from? So you look funny, and like kind of going around, and she was freaking out.
Did you say anything about her?
She didn't, thank God. Otherwise I would have never heard the end of it. But it was fun. It was pretty funny.
That's pretty
See,
awesome.
now you know you could do it.
Yeah,
That guy was that bad. You could be like, I'm definitely funnier
than him.
I think you
Mhm.
need to start writing some material.
I have so much
'Cause
material.
I think we should push you to do it.
Okay.
What's that place? Is it New Brunswick?
Oh yeah,
The
the
Laugh
Laugh
Factory?
Factory.
That's a
yeah.
serious place.
Yeah, no, that's legit. But
They actually used to do it at
They
the
don't
Dublin
do
House.
like amateur.
They used to do like amateur comedy on Tuesdays upstairs at the Dublin House. I don't think they
that's
do it anymore,
fun.
but they used to do it.
probably because nobody was funny. They
Probably.
canceled it.
Yeah. I'll do it with the help of good beer. And shout out to Bri for bringing us some good beer.
Yeah, well,
Cheers.
I noticed that. Cheers.
Dilly dilly.
As you can see if you're watching on Instagram, I happen to notice in the last couple of podcasts that all I ever see are Bud Lights. So I thought I would bring some real beers for you boys to
Thank you.
enjoy.
Some of us appreciate it.
So if Bud Light's listening, feel free to send me cases of Bud Light to show my friends how
That's what I'm saying.
drinkable.
They're not going to do that if you keep advertising for free.
For free,
I'm
yeah. You
talking
put them
to
out,
them
you can see them on
personally.
camera.
You've got like a
And
pyramid of
vintage.
Bud Light. They're not
Take some seltzer.
Yeah. We had a
Oh, so wait, should I do like? Have you ever seen like what is that show? Like Double Dare and Wild and Crazy Kids and stuff like that, Nickelodeon,
Yep.
where they use Hershey syrup with a piece of duct tape over it.
Yeah.
You should put duct tape
Just put
all
duct
over
tape.
them.
I've been on
Like,
a
sorry, Ken.
I've been on a That 70s Show kick, and all of their stuff is like Campbell's with like the C covered or something like that. Like it's all like
Hilarious.
that. Yeah, pretty funny.
That's the next level. You
Well, when we get those 10,000,
know. Now you know.
Yeah.
doing maybe we should informalize this podcast and just sit on crates and
I know we're trying to like. We're like,
And
we need
use
more
one
cameras. We need to
microphone.
learn how to do this.
I
We need to
know.
learn, yeah, just one microphone.
Everybody gather
in
around
the
one
center.
mic. Or
Some guys who are like the top leaders they use like these like apps on their phone. They don't even do
Crazy.
anything. No production value at all, and they're making millions of dollars. I don't know about
Must be
millions.
nice.
that's
They're
ridiculous.
making like $3.
They make more money because there's no overhead.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. So what are you up to these days?
These days, well, so the band is super busy, as you guys know. Summertime is like
Yeah.
crazy. So
Mhm.
every weekend we have weddings. 4th of July is coming up, so we actually have a wedding on a Tuesday, which is a rare, interesting thing.
So you have one
Um,
on the 4th of July?
On the 3rd.
On the 3rd.
Very
That's the
sneaky
3rd,
and
right.
smart of this couple because most
Mm.
people are off on the 4th. And yeah, so aside from that, I've been working on writing some new stuff. I actually have a new song that I will be releasing probably shortly. It's called Spell, little snake. And yeah, I also I work with a company that's based in Nashville, speaking of Nashville, and I write for them.
Oh, cool.
And basically, like, you can submit your music to different opportunities that they list and post. So
That's
they
cool.
get we get like a monthly, all the songwriters get a monthly newsletter, and it's like, here's the people looking for music, here are the opportunities
Sure.
that need songs. So submit to them
Mm-hmm.
when I can, which is pretty cool. And yeah, so just writing, singing all the time.
Is that how you got roped into like going down to Nashville?
It's not, which is funny. That is more recent. That probably happened like in the last year. But the very first time I went to Nashville was actually my college graduation gift from my parents. So the first time I went was actually with my parents, and like immediately fell in love with it. The first trip I was like, oh my gosh, like, why am I living in New Jersey? Like, this is, what am I doing with my life? All of a sudden I'm questioning everything. And I
It's a
just,
trip down there.
oh my gosh, loved it so much. And then from that year out, I went to every single CMA Fest and started going with two really good friends of mine. And yeah, like I said, this year was the first year that we missed because one of them had her baby and she was due the week of CMA Fest.
Ah.
So we have gone like the last 5 years, and a lot of times we would go twice a year,
Mhm.
once in November for the CMA Awards and then in June for the fest. So this is like my first Nashville-less year.
Oh no.
Ouch.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
so
pretty
the
I'm pretty
entire
bummed
year?
about it.
You missed both of them?
I mean, maybe I can go in November. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but yeah. I'm not sad or anything.
We had no idea that the CMAs were going on when we went
yeah.
down, when we
Just
booked the
went.
trip. We just went.
Oh wait, so you went during the fest?
Yeah, we
got
Oh, we
there
went during the awards.
Oh,
Yeah.
in
Oh
November.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Cool.
And we had no idea. We go down there and we were right next to Martin's, the big barbecue place.
Yeah.
And somebody must have rented it out, and it was all decked out with like decorations. I don't know where I was trying to go with that. And they were like limos all out in front, and we had just gotten there, and we were like, what the
Like,
hell's
is this
going
for
on?
me?
Yeah. Then we walked down to like the big hotel, I guess like where everyone was,
Right.
and we went by, and then like I think Nicolino looked it up or something like that. We were like, oh shit.
So
No
But everyone
idea.
was dressed all
amazing.
fancy and stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
People don't dress like this all the time, do they?
You're like, wow,
Not
Nashville's
I
so
only brought
bougie.
T-shirts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the best.
Yeah. So we were, for people who were not listening last week, you were writing into us while we were talking about our trip to Nashville.
Right.
So we were like, oh, we should talk more about
Let's
Nashville.
talk about Nashville. So you guys only went the one time.
Yes.
We went the
Yes,
one
those are
time. Right.
My first and only time. You've been before?
I was there when I was touring with Quincy.
Okay,
And
cool.
we went down. His uncle lives just, at that like one bridge. I don't know. Like we were on the
Yeah.
outskirts a little bit,
Yep.
and he lived like right over the bridge. So we would
Nice.
we stayed there a couple days. We had a couple days off. Stayed there, and then would walk across and just like explore
Right.
Broad Street and stuff like that.
Oh,
And,
it's the best.
or Broadway. Is it
Broadway,
Broadway.
mhm.
Yeah. So much fun.
So
much
good.
fun.
So are you guys planning to go back? Is that something in the future?
I think so.
We
Mhm.
would. We might want to go
The
somewhere
next,
else,
the
though.
next idea was New Orleans.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good one too. I've never been, but I
mean,
hear great
you know,
things.
after talking about Nashville again last week, like,
Getting the Nashville itch.
So you were
Mhm.
saying like you explored some of the other parts versus just staying on Broadway, because we
Yeah.
mostly just stayed there. We like went to, I think, a restaurant or two for breakfast, like on the outskirts, and then
Right,
we
right.
did. Oh no, not again.
All good.
oh, Mike, maybe we need
That's
to have a
fine.
lesson about technology.
Nope, fixed it like that. So
well, if you were a
suck it.
professional, it wouldn't have happened in the first place.
I'm using GarageBand, okay?
Don't let the listeners know.
Anyways,
How about
what were we talking about?
Going at the
going
outskirts.
outside.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So
Where'd
we-
you go?
So we were actually the first like couple of trips, and by that I mean like the first, I don't know, 5. We we have a lot of friends in Nashville at this point. So
Sure.
for probably for like 4 of our trips we actually stayed with friends. So none of them live like
Perfect.
right
like in the city?
It's
Yeah.
it's might be considered Nashville, but like kind of outside. So because of that, we would always be like, oh, where do you suggest going that isn't Broadway?
Mhm.
After, maybe like the first 3 times, we're like, all right, we feel like we've done all of Broadway. Like, where else can we go that the locals know about and
Yeah.
is cool? So something I think I wrote on last week is Winners and Losers, which are 2 like super popular bars. They're right next to each other. And it's on, I'm trying to remember what street is on,
Oh,
but
it's
literally
2 separate bars.
yeah.
Winners and losers.
Yeah, Winners and
Which
Losers.
one did you go to?
Losers is better.
Okay.
Ironically.
Is it really?
Yeah,
Hmm.
Losers is better.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. In
Yeah.
my opinion.
You shouldn't feel so bad.
Are they owned by the same people?
You know
or-
what? I think they are. I think they're
Or
owned by,
are they
because they
competitors?
look super similar. It's just like, I don't know. I guess it's just supposed to be like a joke, Winners and Losers. But Losers was always a better time. And yeah, there's always just like, I guess Nashville in general, like famous people just kind of show up
Mm.
places. And I don't know if you guys know this, but there's like a no paparazzi rule in Nashville, which is why.
Did
No
not
kidding.
know that.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
shit.
that's why it's like so common for people to just kind of be like lolly lolly la, strolling around. Like they can go to bars and not be bothered because people
That's
in
so
Nashville,
awesome.
they just have that respect because it's a rule. They kind of know like, I'll leave you, maybe
Huh.
I'll say hi or like,
Right.
but I'll be respectful. Like we've seen, oh my gosh, I can't even tell you, like I've seen Chris Young out at the bars like multiple times.
Nice.
Saw Darius Rucker. We ran into.
Wait, did you see Darius or did you see Hootie?
I saw Darius. I I was hoping all the blowfish would be there. It
Sorry,
was
I didn't mean
just
to interrupt you.
it was just dare. So, even pal dare. But yeah,
And
so
Steven
like
Tyler, right?
yeah, so this was pretty crazy. And we were walking down this street that winners and losers are on. And all of a sudden, like this huge Escalade is like driving very slowly down the street. And it's me and like two of my best friends that I go with. All of a sudden, the back window of this Escalade rolls down. Surprise, it's Steven Tyler. And he's like, where are you going tonight, ladies? And I don't get starstruck. I feel like I'm normally pretty cool when I like meet
Stop
celebrities.
just to say something
yes,
to you?
I mean, it's Steven Tyler. Of course he did.
That's
like
fucking hilarious.
literally just rolled down the window and he's like, what's going on, ladies? I swear I completely blacked out. Like I when I was like recounting the story later, my mom was like, oh my gosh, like, did you tell him that you're a singer? I was like, Mom, I don't think I said a damn word. Like it was Steven Tyler. And it's one thing if you're expecting it, like you're going to a concert or like
Sure.
you're going to a meet and greet. But like when you're just walking to a bar and Steven Tyler rolls down the back window and is like, hey ladies, how's it going? I was
And like
not ready.
specifically picked you
Yeah.
out.
Right. It was like, hey girls. And so apparently we had a conversation with him, but I'm telling you, I just like starstruck, blacked out completely. Couldn't tell you what I said to him, but the girls that I'm with are from Boston. So they were kind of like, oh, Boston, blah, blah, blah. And then you could tell like he was trying to hang out, but then this like lady, I don't know if she was his manager or whatever, was like, okay, time to go. But it was like one of the coolest. It's like one of my favorite Nashville moments, but that's just kind of like, it's not even weird there because
Right.
they're just like so used to being able to
Sure.
do those kind of things. And we had heard that same night that Steven was just kind of bopping around bars because he could.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
playing at different bars and just like making appearances, being super chill about it.
Do you know? So he was just recently on one of my favorite podcasts to listen to, just the Joe Rogan Experience.
Oh, cool.
And he talks all about his routine. He's got like he's like 70 something years old,
Bizarre.
and he has like this crazy routine where he gets up early and he like does all this like exercise stuff. And I didn't actually listen to it. I was listening to other podcast people talking about it and saying
Mhm.
how ridiculous it was. But I just like his stamina and like the shit that he's still doing at like 70 plus
It's
years old.
insane. And he sounds
Insane.
the same.
Yeah.
Like he sounds exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And he does look great because we saw him up close and I was like, oh, whoa, like crazy. Yeah, you look, you know what I mean? Like,
Dude looks like a lady.
I'm like, the
dude
minute
looks like a lady.
I'm trying to think in my head, like, what if the manager didn't shut him down and he was just like, hey, hop in?
I'm not going to lie to you, Joe. I probably would have hopped in.
Well, yeah.
Steven
Bree's like-
Tyler.
He's
Who
like,
wouldn't?
so love in an elevator?
wow.
Yeah, you
I should
should.
have stopped at the other one.
You shouldn't do comedy.
Well,
Come to
the
think of it, you should not do
comedy
comedy.
night with the sweet talkers. But you know what? Who knows? Because I'm telling you, I've never been like that in my life. I was just like, boop-a-doo, like nothing. So I might have just stared at him, but I don't know. I think we told him where we were going, so maybe he would have been like, cool,
Yeah.
me too.
I'll meet you there.
Because he was just, like I said, he was just kind of like bopping around the bars, but yeah, it was crazy. It's like
That is insane.
such a surreal moment. The car drove away and I was like, did I just hallucinate? What?
Well, now we know if we go back to Nashville
Just look
and
for the Escalade.
we ever see Steven Tyler, I'm going to pull up a picture of Bri and be like, you know my friend.
I bet he'll totally remember.
I'd be like,
He's like, okay, bye. No, he is super nice, though. I bet he would be like, oh, yeah, she's great. Like, he would just kind of roll with it.
yeah.
I feel like I've seen videos of him doing something similar, but the one that's in my head, and I'm pretty sure it was him, was like a dude, like street musician,
I know exactly what you're talking
doing
about.
like one of his songs, and he's just
Yep.
like, oh, he gets out and he's gonna do it with him.
Yeah, and I also, I don't think that the dude knew that it was him. or maybe he was just in complete shock. But I remember for like the first, I don't know, like the minute of the song, he was just kind of like looking at him like, what's this guy doing, like singing with me? I'm like, psst, that's Steven Tyler. Like, you're singing his song right now. So I don't think he knew, because I think it was in another country. And I don't know, he didn't seem too familiar. It was just like, yeah, everybody knows this song, so I'm going to play it.
Right.
But he definitely either was like me, maybe, and completely starstruck and didn't know what to do, or just was like, who is this crazy man singing this song with me?
Yeah. Honestly, we play some songs where I can't even tell you who the artist is.
Right.
Just
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
for sure.
But obviously, it's Steven Tyler,
Different story.
Aerosmith,
Yeah.
like that's
Who?
much bigger. Yeah. I don't know. But it happens.
Craziness.
Yeah.
So this entire time that we've been doing the podcast, I don't know if any of you noticed, I've been grabbing my neck a lot. Yeah.
No, Joe, I did not
Well,
notice.
none
Would
of
you
us
like to
noticed.
share why you've been grabbing your neck a lot?
Only because I relieved it.
Because what?
It was really, really bothering me. I don't know why, but it was just like, oh my God.
Are you okay?
It touched the top of my head and I couldn't feel it.
If anybody else
This
has
is a brand
equally
new
important
bandana.
information they'd like to share with us.
I can't feel my head.
Is it too tight?
Yeah,
Oh.
that's what it was. And I just loosened it up and I'm fine
Probably
now.
the Bud Light.
I feel
Probably.
Yeah, it's the
You should
Bud
try
Light.
one of these
You
beers.
should have a real beer.
I think you should try
Are
one.
we gonna do that?
Yeah.
Because we can do that.
I'm gonna open you one. Is that
Here
cool?
it comes.
Yeah.
Do you want? Okay.
Is that
Yeah.
cool?
Here it comes.
So if I
Like the airplane. So no plans to go back yet?
Not that I've made. I mean, I have plans in my brain knowing that I will for sure be back there, but they haven't actually been made.
Yeah.
I was toying with November, but you know, we'll see. We never really plan our trips to Nashville. To be fair, we're like the three of us are just very spontaneous people, and like oftentimes we'll go down like without tickets, you know, without a game plan, and we're just like, okay, here we go. We're gonna drive 16 hours to Nashville and see what happens
Oh,
when we
you
get
drive.
there. Yeah, we drive.
Well,
I
you
was
know
just
what?
gonna say it's so
I-
cheap. Like we flew down
Right.
there, and it was not that expensive.
No, it's not.
Compared to like another vacation that you can go to other places, and even like, you know, bar prices and food and stuff like that's like it's not that bad.
No, not at all.
No,
Like
I
Nashville
don't
is
thi-
one of the, you know, least expensive, I
Right.
think, places that you could vacation or live or whatever. But I think for us, it just became part of like the experience, because
Mhm.
I have flown to Nashville before, and we did it once for one of the November trips, but we were all kind of like, oh, I missed the road trip. Like, you have to do it with the right people, because I'm
For
not
sure.
somebody that's like all about driving. Anytime me and my family go somewhere, we fly. Like,
Mhm.
so I definitely don't come from a family that's like, oh, let's drive everywhere.
Mhm.
No. So I don't even really know how that all started, but the first time that we went together, it was just like, hey, there's three of us. Like, you know, you each take a shift. And again, we're all super like go with the flow kind of people. So
Yeah.
it was like, yeah, let's just do it. And, you know, you stop at places along the way, and it just like becomes part of the whole
yeah, as a part like
adventure.
Yeah.
sometimes I think people drive somewhere and then just drive back. Like
Yeah,
the
right.
the vacation
is
is
the
road
drive,
trip.
right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm there.
Yeah, I don't know
but-
about that, but like, you know, like I said, it became part of the fun, and like by the fourth or fifth time we went, it was like, oh, we gotta stop at that, you know, place that we love, and like, oh, we gotta make sure we do this on the way down, or sometimes like we would visit family of theirs that was along the way. So
Mhm.
I personally, with that little crew that we have, we enjoy driving. But, you know, that's not to say if we went another time, or if I went
Yeah.
with different people, I'm not going to be like, hey, let's get all 7 of us in that car and road trip,
Yeah.
because you got to road trip with the right people,
Right.
you know? You gotta,
I had a horrible flying experience on the way back.
oh, no.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Please tell
Oh.
that story.
Oh,
Because I had
gosh.
a great experience.
Yeah.
Mine wasn't bad
Please
either.
tell everyone about your horrible experience.
It's just the plane was.
Oh, no. Don't tell me that.
I had
But
a
tell me.
duck to get into the plane.
Oh.
It was tiny.
Oh my gosh, I know exactly. We had that the one time that we flew to Nashville. It was a really tiny plane.
Yeah. And there were
Why?
smelly people next
Why
to
did
me.
they
My
do
legs
that?
fell asleep.
And they
It
don't
was-
tell you that. Like
No,
when you're
they
getting your
don't.
ticket, they're not like, psst, this is a very small plane,
Yeah.
kind of like a private jet, but not even close.
It was like there were 1 seaters on one
Yes,
side and then
and
like 2
two.
on the other side.
Right, like a school bus.
I had the one on the one side. So I was like, this is
Nice.
Yeah.
fucking
Like, I
great.
love this
I feel like I'm in
plane.
first class.
Oh, that's why we didn't have. I had that seat too on the single
Oh.
side.
Yeah.
Like, what's the problem?
Yeah.
I have so
No
much
problem.
room.
How about that?
We
It
were
was
on the
great.
single
He was
side.
so pissed. We got off the plane and like I'm a fan of like tiny houses and like stuff like that. And he's
Right.
like, he's like, dude, that fucking plane. And I was like, what are you talking about? I was
It's
like, "Oh,
great."
He's like, you and your tiny planes and your tiny houses.
Joe, why am I not surprised it was you that ended up on that side of the plane?
Because I'm like the biggest one.
In between like 2
Yeah.
smelly, awful people, and he's like, all right, guys,
No,
or I'm
there
sorry,
was only-
1, because
Yeah.
there's not room for 2.
That's exactly how it was.
Oh, it's terrible. I'm sorry.
Ugh.
Smooth flight, though, otherwise good, yeah? Sounds
Worth
like a
it.
good time.
Worth it. We had a good time. The trip was fucking awesome.
Nashville's the best.
Yeah. It was a little chillier than I thought it was going to be, though.
In
Yeah,
November,
and November's a little bit
Yeah.
iffy. Like
we
they,
had one good day that
Yeah,
was
like
like
really,
no
really
jackets,
good.
but otherwise we were
That's
walking
it.
around in jackets.
man,
Yeah.
I feel like anytime we've lucked out, maybe because they're kind of hit or miss too. For the most part, it's safe to say like Nashville is always warmer than we are, but every now and then you'll get like a weird week where you're like, whoa, what's happening there? Like I'll
Right.
check Nashville every now and then on my phone
You're like,
to see what's
"Are we
going
ready?
on.
Yeah, let's go. Get in the car.
Yeah. They're, 90, everybody in. But yeah, for the most part, you know, it was always sunny, nice, awesome, perfect.
Yeah. What's up with the video that just came out today?
Oh, okay.
Is that, I have to ask, so the director or the producer, what is his name?
Yes, Scott Silva.
Any relation to Zach Silva from Remember
No,
Jones? Okay.
well, actually, maybe. Like, I never asked him.
Oh, okay.
Zach, if you're watching, please answer. I don't think so.
Okay.
But yeah, so funny story. Scott was actually, so he does a lot of like video production for reality television shows.
Oh, cool.
And a couple of years back, I was involved in a pilot for a potential reality show.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. And it didn't end up happening, which I think was a blessing in disguise.
What was the
But-
premise?
So they were
Bri was going to be the original Jersey
I was going to be
Shore.
the new Snooki. No. It was called Brookie.
They couldn't get your hair to stay like that. They were
Yeah,
like,
so
"Fuck
it
it,
was like,
cancel
they're
the
like,
show."
forget it. She doesn't look anything like her. They were like trying to market the idea that, you know, post Sandy, like these young kids with like all these different careers, like how they're thriving post Sandy. I'm like, oh, that sounds really nice. Like I could get down with a show like that. And then like it all kind of came around and it seemed like that was like a minor piece of it. And they were like, oh, let's go to the bar and film. And I'm like, I don't think this is what you really made it out to be. So, you know, it was fun. Like it was a good experience. And obviously like Scott and I met through that. So it all worked out just fine. And like I made some friends through the show. So it all, you know, worked out the way that it was meant to be. But him and I kept in touch because like they used one of my songs on the show, and like my thing obviously was that like I'm the singer, I'm the musician. Like they came to the downtown and they filmed the nines, and like that was all a part of the episode.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it was cool. Like there were definitely really cool things about it. And so Scott and I kept in touch, and he was like, I'd really like to do you know, kind of like a show about you chasing your dreams. And so that's where it all came to be. And the funniest thing is that we filmed it like years ago. It's like some of that footage is like 2 or 3 years old, but you know, it was like no rush. We were just kind of doing it for ourselves. He was like, you know, send me this, send me that. And so it all finally came together. And so this is episode 1 of hopefully a much longer series. And
But this is all going to be about you.
yeah,
Oh,
for this
cool.
one. I mean, eventually chasing the dream obviously is going to have like more artist on it, but
Right.
the idea is like people chasing their dreams. And so for right now, like that was episode 1. He wants to do a part 2.
Cool.
And then we'll see where it goes from there. But, you know, just like people like us who are like living the dream, like doing music for a living and trying to get their name out there, you know. So, yeah.
And
pretty
you teach
excited about
too.
that. I do, yeah. I teach little nuggets.
Oh boy.
I teach baby music classes.
Not chicken nuggets.
Oh
Another
yeah,
bad joke.
to be clear,
Oh,
maybe
you know
we'll have to
what?
work on the stand-up thing,
I
but
know.
it's
Yeah.
fine.
I'm
Like,
just gonna
you
we're
know,
just gonna put that to bed.
I'll just write you maybe a couple jokes and you could use them. Yeah.
Burn.
Oh man.
Hey.
I'm just kidding, Mike. I think
That's
you're
fine.
funny.
That's fine.
We'll all do
Now I
it, guys.
know.
We're all gonna do stand-up and see how it goes.
Oh, I thought you meant we were all gonna help Mike preach.
No. Anyway, yeah, so I teach little babies, and they are anywhere from like 3 or 4 months old to like 5 years old. And it's mommy and me style. So, you know, mom, dad, grandma, nanny, whoever, as long as you bring a baby, you're cool. And so I have like a ton of instruments. Literally, my car is just full of instruments. Like, that's it. So there's drums, sticks, shakers. We like dance, sing. Super cute. And yeah, that's what I do during the week. So sing to sweet little babies during the week, and then
To drunken idiots
exactly
on the weekend.
Yeah, I was thinking it. You vocalized it.
See, we're a good team.
See,
Rat-a-tat.
yeah. Stand-up team.
Yeah.
Whoa!
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
We're ready. Hands in.
All right, so I'm gonna try this.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
you still
Okay, here
didn't
we
try it?
I've been
go.
waiting. Yeah.
Okay, we're
'Cause
ready.
I know. I feel like this is gonna have like this bitter.
No, it's not that bitter.
Why don't you smell it
Pretty good.
first? It has a nice smell.
It does have a nice smell.
See? Mm-hmm.
Lots of things smell good and don't taste good.
Give us an example.
Please don't.
No comment. Survey says
Scale 1 to 10. Your face says.
says
Your
negative
face.
2.
I was-
No,
I
he's
swear to God, I was
he's
gonna say
chasing it with a Bud
that.
Light.
I mean, it tastes like an IPA.
It is an IPA.
Well,
I know.
You know,
I
as it
know,
should.
But it has that kind of.
Your mouth is tainted by fake beer.
Yeah.
Look, I like
That's
it.
the problem. And that's good for you and Bud Light. So I'm happy for them. People like you keep their business running.
What is that supposed to mean? Wow,
Seems
you're
like you
just
like
dishing
it.
them out all over.
We probably have a better chance getting sponsored by Founders though than Bud Light because they're not a major
Right.
corporation. Oh, I just found
Oh,
out.
here we
Tag
come.
'em.
Here comes the hipster shit.
I just found out that Peyton Manning owns like part of Budweiser now.
Whoa.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
And you didn't tell me this?
I just found it out today. I was listening to a podcast and Bill Burr, stand-up comedian,
Mhm.
and he was rambling about Bud Light or some, I don't know, some shit. And he was like, oh yeah, and he's a big sports guy. So he's like, oh, Peyton Manning, isn't that Peyton Manning? He just retired
Mhm.
recently.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, oh yeah, and he bought like a huge
Must be
share
nice.
of Budweiser. And like, that's what he was saying, that Budweiser stock went down while somebody else's went up. One of the other like
Interesting.
major beer companies went up.
Miller,
Probably Miller.
Coors.
Although I think they're all the same now. Oh, Coors. It was Coors. Because Miller and Bud, I think, are essentially the same company.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
It happened a couple of years ago. Look it up.
Really?
Yeah.
So did he
You don't
buy
even
it
know
when it
about
was
the fake
down
beers
from-
that you drink?
He bought like a share of it. And so he was making the joke that ever since he did that, the stocks went down and the other company, Coors, went up. But whatever.
Good for them.
Yeah. I'll stick to these.
Yeah, me too. Sorry, Joe.
And I'm
Thanks, Bri.
stick to my blue cans.
You do you,
Blue red
Joe.
cans. I'm going to. Look, it's about what you enjoy, right?
Right, totally.
I don't
100%.
enjoy
Yeah.
on the back of my tongue.
And to be fair, I didn't always like it, like I was saying earlier. So,
Yeah.
you know,
An acquired
I do
taste.
think it's an acquired taste. Yes.
I mean, I don't just drink Bud Light. There's other like decent, well,
Natty Light.
No, actually, Joe and I have gone to the
beer garden.
beer garden
Nice.
several times, and we
We found
some
something.
nice,
I found something I
tasty
like.
beers.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice. All right.
He likes like the Belgian style.
Yeah, that's
Beers.
usually
Yeah.
like Hoegaarden is a beer that I like.
Yeah.
There you
Not,
go.
I don't like Blue Moon though.
No?
No.
Neither do I.
Blue Moon, But I got to be in the mood for it.
Yeah, I don't like anything that's like too sweet.
Right.
You know.
So you're not like a shandy kind of guy.
No, I
Mhm.
mean I like
hate
it.
those.
Like I'll have one. I mean,
And
like,
that's-
oh, this is great.
Right. Like,
If
oh,
I
how
have two,
refreshing.
I'm gonna get a headache.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to do a little search here.
For what?
Which one's Budweiser?
Do you need help with the technology
Mm.
aspect, or?
Purchase of the number 2 positioned Miller beers.
Whenever you're ready, Joe.
Yeah,
Here.
well,
Oh,
we
would
can-
not, wait,
We'll
it says
just
would
wait for
not
you.
take over the Miller brand.
Oh, so it didn't go through.
Although it says clears way for $101 billion. These Bev. None of the like. This isn't even Anheuser-Busch. It's
No,
like,
I think Bud Light is his own entity. And
no, it's an Anheuser-Busch beer. But like that company, I think is owned by another, maybe bigger company. Like this is InBev.
Beats me.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
weird.
So
Then the letters and stuff gets weird. I don't know. I would have to do like more research on
all
this
that information is
before-
like probably buried too, because they don't actually want you to know.
right. They don't
Right.
want you. They want you to think that those Clydesdales and the little Dalmatian puppy are,
Aw.
you know. See, see. Don't you wish you drank Budweiser now?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
You're being tricked
I
by their
can go-
marketing schemes.
I love it. I love marketing stuff
I
like
mean,
that. I love
hello.
commercials.
My bottle has angels on it, Joe. How can you compete with angels?
There's some
Those are some kind of
statistics.
Don't
janky looking
even
angels
try.
there, Bri.
They're beautiful. They're holding up the founders. I mean, what a beautiful statement.
Not to get all weird, but
Eh.
there's like some statistic that says that like companies spend so much money in advertising, and the companies that like are spending, the companies that you're seeing advertise like on TV and stuff like that
Mhm.
are spending more on advertising than they are on the ingredients that go into their products.
Of
I believe
course.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Crazy.
feel like almost any
Crazy.
company would be that way. I mean, what is barley and whatever malt?
I don't know, they're buying a shit ton of
What
it
is
though.
barley?
Yeah, but I mean,
Barley.
What is
barley
even
and
is
hops.
barley?
You know, that's barley, hops, and water. That's all that's in here.
That's it.
We got to go to the beer making place, but we'll talk about beer another day.
yeah.
Got way
Episode
sidetracked.
2. Part
Sweet,
2.
balanced, malty. Shake hands
Deliciousness.
with the hop character for a finish that never turns too bitter. It was bitter since the first sip.
You're just silly.
You're just being bitter.
Yeah, you're
Bri,
bitter.
I'm trying
Bitter.
to bask in the glory of the frothy head's
Please do.
floral bouquet.
Bask away.
Ask away.
Trying to relish the citrus accents from the abundance of dry hopping.
Yeah.
Mm,
That really says dry hopping.
yeah.
They could. That's not a good choice of words.
Or is it?
But are you not on your podcast talking about it?
I
So-
am,
right.
but I'm picturing some weird dude
Job
in a
well
liquor store
done.
humping cases of IPAs.
Well,
I'm
if
dry
it gets you
hopping.
talking
Hey
about
guys,
it,
Yeah.
hold my beer while I dry hop.
You said you liked good marketing and advertising.
there you have it,
Well,
folks. Everybody
I'm
try
talking about
Founders Centennial
Coca-Cola
IPA.
Polar Bears and Budweiser Dalmatians, you know.
Well,
Oh,
they're just
boy.
trying to be different. Stand out from the crowd.
I know.
Don't
'cause
be a
they're
follower, Joe. Be a
hipsters.
leader.
Sometimes you just gotta hump an IPA.
Yeah, but you see, if so many people try to be leaders, they end up just being followers, in that they're trying to
follow
be
the leaders.
trendy. You know. Oh well, I'm
You
not
know?
a follower. I'm a leader. No, you're a hipster.
What are you, Joe?
I don't know.
That was
I'm
such
lost.
a digression. I don't know.
I don't know.
Bud Light drinking idiot. Bud Light drinking fool.
That should be their new slogan. A bunch of Bud Light drinking fools.
That would
man.
that would
Did
make
they
And
get
it's
in-
just
where am I?
Joe with like 17 clones of himself.
All doing different
All
things
just
though.
Joes with different
But
colored
wearing,
bandanas.
Like yeah. They would all have bandanas, but they'd all
Same
be slightly
bandana, just
different.
right.
You
Yeah.
know, they'd
Like
all have black
red.
T-shirts on, but they'd all have different things on them.
Right.
Would it be any other colors?
Slightly more spiked hair, slightly less.
Right.
You know, very
Well,
slight differences.
hopefully not less. Hence the bandana.
Oh my
you just give yourself up.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I don't mind putting myself on the line for comedy. You know.
Comedic
We're
effect.
doing it.
Yeah. There we go.
Everybody's doing it.
Well,
Being
Mike's
followers.
gonna be doing it soon.
No,
I'm
apparently I'm not.
I'm
'cause
gonna
I suck.
book you a gig at the Laugh Factory.
Yeah, okay.
I know people.
The Laugh
Surprise! You're
Factory.
doing
I
a
know
show
First
tonight.
gig at the Laugh Factory.
That's why we're on the podcast.
What's that, Nick? What's that place we went to in Point Pleasant?
They have a
I'm try-
comedy?
There's like some comedy place in Point Pleasant.
Huh.
And in fact, we saw there was this kid, or this guy that used to come see us when we used to play at Leggett's all the time.
Yeah.
And he used to do. Wow, this is going back pretty far. This is before Obama was president,
Oh wow.
and he would do like impressions, and it was spot on. He's like, dude, I'm
Nice.
playing like this comedy thing. Like, come check it out. So a bunch of us went, and it was weird. I think
It was
I
weird.
went and hung out outside for a while because there was this one dude that was doing that thing where he was like picking on people. I was like, it ain't gonna be me, buddy. I'm
Right.
leaving.
Like, see ya.
Yeah. But yeah, it was. I don't remember the name of the place, but
Was it in kind of like the main area, like where?
I guess
all
I
the
feel like it
bars
was
are
on
and
some
stuff?
sort of strip, right?
Something. I'm
There's
not
a
sure.
lot
I
of
don't
pictures of
remember.
like Andrew Dice Clay, so I guess he,
Interesting.
you know,
Hmm.
I can.
Have to look
Google
it
it,
up.
Joe.
I'll look it- yeah, I'll do that because I feel like if I see the name,
Then you'll know.
yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, the only ones like around here that I know are the Laugh Factory in New Brunswick. I think there's actually 2 of them, if I'm not mistaken. Like, there's 2 different Laugh Factory locations,
I think so.
right?
Yeah.
Is there one that's like more famous than the one in New Brunswick, or
Maybe. I've been to the New Brunswick one a long time ago, but it's really cool from what I remember. It was like, I think, $25, which included like the show and like 1 drink or something like that.
Right,
And
right,
then like
right.
you need to get 2 items off the menu, which is
Right.
like totally fine if you
Totally
plan on
fine.
going for like
Yeah, it's
dinner
like
and, an appetizer and a drink or 2 drinks, whatever.
sure. You may
So-
end up spending like maybe $50 for like the
right,
night,
for
which
like
is not
a
that
dinner and a
bad.
show, basically.
Yeah.
Nick? This is it, Uncle Vinny's Comedy Club, right?
Oh, I remember that name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the name.
Pretty sure that was it.
How many stars?
4.
Well, isn't
Wow.
that
4.2.
is it still
Yeah.
there?
Oh, you know what? That's a good question.
I think that's the new Laugh Factory, and they just moved maybe because it's owned by that guy.
I don't know.
Arnold Ave. I've
It's
been on
owned
Arnold
by
Ave
some
before.
guy named Vinny, isn't
Arnold
it?
Ave.
Maybe. You know what? It doesn't say it's anything different.
Interesting.
Maybe we can check it out this weekend when we're down in Point Pleasant.
Oh.
Oh, true.
Mm.
I don't think we're going to be over that way. 'Cause now I know exactly where it is.
Yeah, I mean, I know exactly where Arnold Ave is.
Yeah, it's like it's not on the beach side. It's
Right.
like on the other side of the highway, I guess. But
Mm.
really, really nice area, though.
Yeah,
Like, really nice.
cute. Lots of like restaurants and stuff over
Yeah.
in that area. Yeah.
There's, I don't know, there's one of those venues with the number is the name. Like, I don't know, wasn't there like a club, like, or like a 509 Main or whatever? That was a venue, I think,
I'm
down
not
that
sure.
way. They just kind of take whatever the highway number is.
Right.
But it was a fancy place. Like, it was, I don't know.
Bougie.
Yes, very bougie. Very bougie.
It's the bougie section of Point Pleasant.
I think all of Point Pleasant is kind of bougie. You live in
What?
No, you don't think
Easy
so?
now.
I don't. I mean,
Easy now.
look, I don't frequent there, but it just seems
Easy
like
now.
if you live in Point Pleasant, it's like, hey,
You
it's
think
a
You're
beach
from-
town.
Jenks
I don't
is
know.
bougie?
Oh no, definitely not
Yeah,
that.
right.
No. But I mean, like living wise.
Oh,
Right?
I got
Wouldn't it
you.
be-
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh, there's definitely some dives in Point Pleasant.
Right. It's, you know, hit or miss. It's like one or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotcha. No, I see. I
You're
see where you're
from
going. I thought you meant like all the
Old
bars in Point Pleasant are bougie. I was like, what? Are you
Yeah.
sure? Are we talking about the same place?
Anyway, I want to keep drinking this
Anyways.
though and see if I can.
Oh yeah, see if
Warm
you
up
like
to
it.
it.
Yeah, try it.
Probably not.
The one other thing I wanted to ask you.
No,
Okay, fine.
thanks for coming.
And we're
guys.
over. Goodbye.
Next topic. Next topic.
What? Just like talk a little bit about your experience. We talk about this all the time. One of the reasons like why we get along so well, like you come out to see us, we come out to see you.
Right.
It's weird being in this scene. I think the scene's so great with a lot of like great people, musicians and
Yeah.
stuff like that. What has your experience been? There's definitely like some people who are not so supportive of other people, and it's more like they see it more as like a competitive kind
For
of thing,
sure.
especially on the cover band scene. What has your experience been with just like meeting people and playing in different projects and
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I have to say that my experience, like, playing with bands or, like, doing shows with other people has always been positive, and
yeah,
I always, and, like, my band makes fun of me because it just became a joke that they're like, Bri, you're literally singing with every band, like, nobody's gonna even know you're in the nines, like, you're singing with everybody, but I love it. I think it's fun. I'm like, why not? If I'm not doing anything, like, this is what I love to do.
yeah,
So in that sense, you know, it's kind of like we're all in the same boat. Like we're all doing the same thing. So how can we not
Right.
be supportive of each other?
And you can't be in the same place, or wait, you can't be in two different places at the same time.
Right. So who cares? It's like there
Yeah.
are so many venues. It's not even a matter of competition, because if you were playing the same place every weekend, eventually you're going to get the boot. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
right,
you have to have a mix, and that's the whole fun of it. Like, and people love, I feel like something that the Jersey Shore has gotten a name for is like all the different acts of music that we have. Like if you look at Asbury Park and like all these different shore areas like Point Pleasant, and there's so many different kinds of bands and music, and like people like the variation. Like we
Right.
have shout out to Anthony and Jeanette. These are like two people that through them coming to see our shows, we've gotten like super close with them, and they will literally like in one day, they have a full schedule, and they'll always post on Facebook like at, you know, from 3 to 4 we're seeing this band, from 5 to 6 we're seeing these guys, 7 to 8 we're seeing these people. So it's like there's certainly no shortage of musicians. And like I don't know if you guys feel this way. I think you do, because you come out and see other bands, but like I love seeing live music.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I love going to see live bands.
Yeah.
And some people are kind of like, oh, like I do that, so I don't want to see that on my off time. And I'm like, you know, but like I love it. I love seeing live bands because I'm like, I get it. And like that's
Right.
what I do. And I like seeing people do what they love for a living,
yeah,
whether it's original music, whether it's cover music. And like something that I always found funny, what you were saying, like especially with cover bands, it's kind of laughable because it's like nobody, like none of us own these songs.
right.
We're all covering
Exactly.
them. So like who are you to be like, did you just do that? That is our song. It's like,
Right.
actually that song belongs to Bon Jovi,
Right.
and we're all doing it. So like I never really understood people who get like whoa about cover songs, because
Yeah,
we obviously, you know, we're cover bands. We all cover
sure.
music. That's the point. But yeah, for the most part, I've had a positive experience, and you know, I sang with you guys, love doing that. Like we
Yeah, it
had
was
so
good
much
times.
fun with like
Yeah.
the handful of gigs that I got to do with you guys. Like you said, Remember Jones, so I love them. Like awesome, super talented group of people.
Anthony's a nut.
He's
He's so good.
awesome. Like, and I don't know if you know this, he actually has a musical theater background as
Yeah,
well, and
yeah.
a lot
He's
of them
doing a show
do.
right now. He's doing
They're gonna be doing Hair.
Hair. I was gonna say Joseph.
Yeah, they're doing
Hair.
like the concert,
Right.
which I'm bummed that I couldn't audition for,
That's
because
crazy.
I could, like, every date I was available for except for the last one. And I was like, no, it's like one of my favorite shows. I was so bummed. But yeah, like I love doing things like that. It switches it up, you know, because you're kind of doing the same vibe all the time. So it's fun to step into another band and be like, oh my gosh, even if you're doing cover songs, it's like, this is brand new because you're doing a totally different vibe or set or like location.
Yeah.
And so I love switching it up, whether it's doing my original stuff or hopping in for a Remember Jones show or coming with you guys, like whatever it is, you have to put yourself out there. Like that's your job as a musician.
Yeah.
And then support other people because we're all doing the same thing.
Exactly.
So
we always have like nights off and we'll be like, well, what do you want to do tonight? What do you want to do? And we'll just like, let's see who's playing.
Right.
Like that's what we want to do.
That's kind of, and see, I think for people like us, that will dictate where we go.
Right.
It's not like we're going to go to a place. Although, I mean, it happens sometimes. If you get in a mood, it's like, I don't want to go too far. I don't, whatever. We're on a time limit.
Sure.
It's like, we'll just go to a place. But, I mean, for the most part, I think we would at least try to pick a place based off the band rather than picking the venue.
Oh,
we'll
for
pick
sure.
the band
For sure.
first instead of the venue,
Definitely. I would rather travel to see a band that I know, like, I really love or, like, friends or whatever. Like, if I knew you guys were somewhere some night versus, like, a local bar, I would much rather travel to a place that I know is going to be a good time with a great band than kind of be like, do
for sure.
at a nearby place. Did they give us the boot?
Oh,
they did.
It's whatever. Whatever. We'll
Whatever,
just keep
we're
talking.
on.
This will be on iTunes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And actually, we're still videoing. So
Are
it'll
we
be
on YouTube Live?
It'll be on YouTube. No. I just upload it like tomorrow.
Joe got
we
so
could
nervous.
I mean, that would be a cool thing, though.
We can
right?
do that.
That's cool.
We
Sort
should.
of. I will talk about it later.
I'll figure it out.
But yeah, it's like it's a learning experience too.
Yeah, for sure.
Like we'll try to talk to each other while the show's going on, but most of the time, like on the Uber ride home or something, we're like, oh, like when they did this, that was really cool.
Right.
When they did this, that was really cool. And it's not like we want to like steal ideas or whatever, but it's like, oh shit, that sparked like another idea, or like
totally,
it kind of just like
no, absolutely, like something fresh or like,
because you're working so much that you just get in your box and you're just like, all right, I'm in the flow and this is what we do, blah blah blah, and then you forget to try to like spruce things up, or that other people are doing other cool things.
Exactly, because you have to keep it fresh for yourself. Like sometimes, we always try to remind ourselves, like, listen, when you go to a new venue, like it's new for them. So even if we feel kind of like, oh man, same thing, but sometimes you got to do things to switch it up for yourself because the audience knows when you're feeling it. And so like if it's fresh for you and you're like, yeah, this is so much fun, I'm really feeling this new song or whatever, new medley, even if it's just like a new piece, and then all of a sudden it like brings this new life to a show, it can make all the difference because suddenly you're enjoying it again.
Right.
And even if it's this little new piece, it's still new and keeps it fun for not just them but for you, which is just as important, I think.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, because if you're not having fun, it's a give and take.
Right.
Like sometimes you might go into a gig feeling like, I didn't have a great day, and then all of a sudden the audience amps you up and you're like, this is awesome. But I do believe there's also that give and take. Like maybe it's not a huge audience, but you're having a great time and then they're feeding off of your energy, and all of a sudden like, woo, this is an awesome show.
Yeah.
It's difficult to, because, I mean, ultimately what we're doing is you're putting on a show.
Right.
Right. So if you had a bad day, you got to hide it.
Totally.
And that is difficult.
Yeah.
It's
It's not always easy to do.
Than playing the music or setting up or breaking down or traveling or whatever. It's like hiding, like, I mean, a lot of us do have day jobs as well. And it's like sometimes those don't always go so well.
Right. Or like sometimes I can tell you, and maybe it's just things that like I notice and the audience doesn't, but like if I'm thinking about something, because sometimes like you'll go on autopilot because you know these sets so well, and all of a sudden I'm like, did I even sing that verse in English? Like I'll get and I'm like,
you're like, wait, is this the first verse or the third verse?
Oh wait,
been there, done that.
If you autopilot through the whole song, you're good. But if you
if you come back
and it's like, wait, I really don't know,
and you're like recalculating, nope,
like,
nighty night.
Is the bridge coming up? And then you just hope that it's like there's like somebody else changes before you.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not gonna do a
confuse
fill
you.
into this. I'm gonna hear this first, and then
Exactly.
there we are.
Yeah. See, for you, that's more difficult. Like for
That's-
us on
yeah.
vocals, I feel like I always, if I could either like put the mic out to the audience, or
Yeah.
I could just be like, I'm taking a break because I feel like it,
Yeah.
and then the band is gonna follow
Right,
me.
right.
You know
That's
what I mean?
true.
Oh, just take a solo. Just take a yeah. I want let it
Right.
rip.
So like for you, if you do the wrong drum fill, the whole band is suddenly like,
Yeah.
what's happening?
Like,
but with
sorry,
us, it's like if
guys.
I don't come in, you'll just figure it out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Sorry, but that's how it goes, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Singer's always
typically
right.
the singer is in
That's
control. So even if I sang that second verse 3 times, you're gonna follow me.
Yeah.
You're like, well, here she goes again. Like,
True.
Meanwhile,
happens.
mouthing to you like, "What are you doing?"
yeah, you're looking
Yeah.
at me like somebody cut her off. It happens. Like you said, you have a bad day or whatever. Like you're in your
Yeah.
head, you're zoning, and then all of a sudden you come back to life, and I'm like, what did I just say?
Yeah.
You know, and I think that might be like a good idea for like a show topic too, because I mean, a lot of people that are in the audience, they have
No
they
clue.
see that they have no idea.
Yeah.
You know, they might even like you might do a different like let's say you sing the second verse first and the first
Right.
verse second. They just go with it.
Exactly.
They don't know.
Totally.
Yeah.
Half the time, half of them are drunk anyway.
Right. Exactly.
I get hung up on that too, like at like singing.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like fuck, like I just
I
especially
totally
with
sang the wrong verse.
it's such a stupid thing. But when we do Santeria,
Mm-hmm.
those like verses and the choruses, he had like little words are different.
Yes.
And honestly, I think he just fucked them up when they recorded. He was like,
for
it's
sure.
fine. But
for
like,
sure.
there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's
Right.
like always different. And when you're reading
I
it,
can
it's
almost
like.
guarantee he just like went with it. And
Yeah.
the recording was like, it's good.
But when I see people singing along to that and I fuck it up,
Right.
I get bent out of shape because I'm like, they probably know.
They know it.
They're like
Yeah.
big Sublime fans. Like, you know, those Sublime
Oh,
fans who like
yeah.
know everything there is to know. And I'm like, fuck, they know.
Yeah, they totally knew. That's it. We're fired. They're never gonna have us back.
Yeah.
It's so funny because like we think so much into it, but like anybody watching, even if you did mess up, they're just gonna move right along with
Yeah,
you.
right.
Like you keep going, and they're like, "Woo!"
And honestly, they're just like waiting for the next song. Probably by that point, anyways, they're like, all
They're
right.
like, "Whatever,
Yeah.
it's fine." I feel like there are some songs like we've done for so long, and I feel like I was singing. Oh my gosh, what is it? There's one song where like I know I'm not singing the right words, but I've been doing it that way for so long. I just roll with it.
Every other song
I do
we
that too. with
And I'm
some of
like,
the
you know
drum
what?
stuff
At this point, I'm
sometimes.
not even fixing it.
Nope.
I know. And I always feel like there's actually a spot in that Bon Jovi song. What's the name of it again?
Living on a prayer.
It's like I know that it's
Joe from
one
the top,
beat
hit it.
longer.
Sing it.
No, not a chance. Not a chance. But I know that there's this little break.
Give him
that's-
one more
that's
of these
supposed
and
to
he'll
be-
probably do
he'll
it.
be fine.
Yeah.
Finish the pack.
Okay. But it's supposed to be one beat longer.
Yeah.
And that's how I learned it to begin
Right.
with. And it's like, you know
It's
what?
fine.
Everyone else is fine with it. I don't care.
Like the band
But
becomes
I always
used to
feel
it.
like they're waiting for that, like, it's like, oh, and then like, you know, like the audience trips over it singing wise because I cut a beat out, you know.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I
You're
don't
like,
ca-
this is
I don't-
actually how it's done. You guys don't know anything.
I don't care that much about Bon Jovi.
There's a lot of songs where Chris and I are singing in harmony the whole time.
Right.
And I know that and a lot of the times he'll have like the iPad up and I won't. So I just
Like
I just like
whatever he
go off
says.
of whatever that, and
Yep.
those times where we're just not even singing the right words and just,
Not even English.
what'd you say? There? Oh, I thought you said hair. All right, it's fine.
Cool. There. Whatever. It sounds the same.
Yeah.
As long as it's in harmony, who gives a
Yeah.
shit?
Right. Yeah.
The harmony's
as long
good,
As
that's
the
all I care
melody's
about.
on point. Just like la la la. It. Nobody even.
Nope.
knows. There's this rap in is it Let's Get It Started? But so sometimes when Chuck normally does the rap, so if you're looking at the stage, he's standing to my left,
Mm-hmm.
and when he's not
he
there,
plays like sax too.
no, that's Rob. He plays
Okay.
guitar. So to
Oh,
my
sorry, your left. I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah.
So he
Gotcha.
sings and he plays guitar. There's a rap that when he's not there, I do it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just become this joke that like I refuse to look up the correct words because I think it's more fun to make them up.
Sure.
To this, by this point, I've done the rap like 100 times. Still don't know the correct words. Make them up every time. There's some, like, obviously some parts that I know the words to, but there's like this one full-blown like 8 count where I'm just completely making it up.
That's awesome.
But I'm just saying like the vowels, so everybody's like, yeah, like, get it, girl, rock on. I'm like, yeah. Not speaking English for a full.
But you probably have the rhythm correct, right?
Rhythm is correct.
Yeah, so they have no
vowels
clue.
are correct.
Yeah.
I'm just making like noises that sound like words almost. It moves quickly enough that you would have no idea. Next time you're at a show, maybe I'll like look at you and be like, here's the part I'm talking about.
This is it.
This is it.
Just give us the
I'm
high
not
sign.
Speaking, yeah. My guys. Not English. It's more fun that way, you know? Keep you on your toes.
Yeah.
Like, what words am I going to make up tonight, you know?
That's a fun thing.
Yeah.
It's a fun little game to play.
There's times too though where I see now, I mean for me again it's a little bit different.
Right.
But it's like if I think too much about the fill that I'm gonna do, it's like, okay, what am I gonna do here? I'm gonna do a little bit of this, I'm gonna do a little bit of that, and then it's like it comes and it's just like there's not even really anything there.
You're like, well,
like,
I froze, I did nothing.
Yeah. I
He just
didn't
hits
do
the
what I
cowbell.
normally
Thump.
do. I didn't do anything cool to change it up. I just
4 and
kind
4.
of fucked
Just
it
keep
up.
it going.
Yeah. Or just space. And then
You just
but
point the
still
sticks at the
all
audience.
on time. Everything's on time, but
Sure.
it's just
Right.
space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Which is a fill in itself.
It is. So philosophical.
Oh my god. Yeah, really don't do that stand up, please.
Philosophical.
Oh, there it is.
Don't do
Hey.
that stand
You need to
See, I
get
just tell
married
dad
and have a
jokes.
kid so you can
So I can tell,
do dad,
like,
Dad
jokes all
jokes. Yeah,
day
those are
long.
That's your niche.
I'm
Dad
fine with the
jokes.
Starting a family
No,
with
no,
dad
no.
jokes.
I'm fine with that niche. Trust me, I'm cool. But as long as
Dad
the
jokes are
prerequisite
good.
of having a kid and a wife is not.
Well, that's
Not
fine,
fair.
but
yeah,
listen,
no,
when
you
you
could
go
just
on
tell
stage,
dad jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it'll do.
when you go on stage, you need to wear cargo shorts with a polo shirt tucked in and like a pair of Reeboks
No, it
with
should
your
be
socks
like
pulled
your
all the way
shtick.
up.
Right.
That would be funny.
Could be funny.
Dress
There's an
like
audience
a dad,
for that.
but not
For sure.
Everything's
dad.
all about
Yeah,
finding
just
a niche.
dress to be a dad, and then at the end of telling all these jokes about your children and your wife, be like, by the way, I'm single and I don't have a family. Thank you.
Exactly.
By the way, just kidding. I'm single.
Yeah, ladies.
Just like business cards.
Make it rain.
If you
sweet
thought I was
talkers.
funny, call the number on this card.
Your fan base will entirely be made up of MILFs.
Oh dear
It's like
God.
single moms, just single moms.
Whatever.
Like, well, I thought he was a dad. He might be a good dad.
Oh God.
That might be a way of getting chicks.
Ladies, if you're listening.
No. No.
Mike goes on the dating site Babes with Babes.
Babes with babes, that's good.
Swipe left.
Wow, I'm surprised you knew that terminology. Swipe left.
Swipe left. Wow.
Oh, you know what? That was a 50-50 shot whether it was going to be left or right.
Is left good? I'm not sure.
You
I don't-
chose
I don't-
correct.
I don't- I'm
Online
actually-
dating, so.
I'm actually not sure. I think.
Oh, so I
swipe
could
left.
be.
You
oh.
could be wrong. Google it.
Yeah,
Ask
that's
the
gonna take-
ask the
it's gonna
listeners.
take
Oh,
too
they're
long.
gone. Guys,
They're
we didn't
gone.
even
They're
see if
gone.
anybody was asking questions or anything.
We did.
You were supposed
I think
to watch
someone
that.
and you know what? My bad. I didn't want to interrupt because that's an issue that I have. Also on the podcast.
Not an issue.
He said that
You-
like it was like a disease
He's
or
like,
something.
I'm sorry for being so
Second issue.
polite.
Well, no, because see, the problem is the opposite. I almost always interrupt everybody, so I'm trying not to. I'm
Whatever.
making a conscious effort not to.
Aw, good job.
So,
So we-
Positive
in that-
reinforcement. Such a teacher.
In that process, we completely ignored the listeners.
there was one.
need to find
there was just
need to find
one.
balance.
Yeah, there was one person that said something about. It was when you were talking about, I think, winners and losers. That far
Oh.
back into the podcast. That was like an hour ago.
Well,
that said, I
We'll
can't even
address-
bother looking it up.
Can you
That there was
paraphrase?
some other bar that was better.
oh.
so-
Yeah, I mean, it's not that I wouldn't say that like, oh, it's the
No,
best bar.
Yeah.
It was just like kind of an off the beaten path kind of thing that not everybody knows about. I feel like it's gotten more popular over time. It's
Sure.
not super rare.
Hey, I'm not criticizing. And they're gone.
So they're not even listening. So have a nice night.
Yeah.
Peace out.
So bye. Nashville is so like an hour ago.
So, like, so where are you at this weekend? Anywhere good?
Yeah. So Friday, I'll be in Delaware at the Paradise Grill that I was telling you guys about before the podcast actually
Very
started. So for the listeners, super cool, like on the beach, like big, huge stage, which is really awesome, like overlooking the water. Just a really cool spot. And they're like staff, shout out to them. They always treat us really well, like drinks, food, whatever you want. And the nice thing is that it's actually an early show.
Nice.
So then, like, when we're done, you could just hang out and, like, enjoy. And then, like, later, they'll have more music. So, like, I remember last time there was a country,
Cool.
a guy there who was a country original artist. And
Nice.
he was, like, a local guy. So he had a pretty solid following. So we stayed for that. That was really cool. And we take the ferry there, which is awesome. Like,
Okay,
you
how do
can't
you
do it
do
without
that
the ferry.
with the equipment? Oh, I guess it's just in the car, right? And you
Right. So like you just
Ah.
noink the
Where do you
car.
catch
We
the
go
ferry?
separately. Cape May.
Oh, cool.
We take like 3 vehicles because there's like so many of us and so much equipment.
Right.
But we all take the ferry, and so you just drive it right onto the ferry, and
That's pretty cool.
good to go.
Nice.
Yeah, it's so awesome. Like if you're on a beautiful day, you just like they have a bar. You just like chill out outside, sipping on a drink, waiting to get there. And then I think when you get there, it's like 20 minutes from that point. So
That's pretty cool.
save yourself the hour of driving, and you get to just like chill
Yeah.
out with a drink and enjoy the view.
Perfect.
Yeah. And then Saturday we'll be at the downtown,
Oh,
Awesome.
Cool.
which of course we love. And, you know, we're there like every 4 to 6 weeks or so. I know we have some brides coming out to check us out for their weddings, so that's always fun.
Nice.
Awesome.
And yeah, so we love the downtown. It's like
Yeah.
pretty much a guaranteed good time because it's a local show, and like in the summer we're so busy with weddings that
Mhm.
having just a show is kind of
I know,
rare.
yeah. I can
So,
imagine.
you know, it's nice that like our friends could be like, all right, at least like we can come to this show. So, you know, when in doubt, like friends are going to show up
Yeah.
and like it's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
That's the best.
Yeah.
We were supposed to have that last week at
I
Donovan's,
know.
but that was one of the 3 that got canceled this past month. 'cause of the
Man, all in
fucking
one
weather.
month.
Pretty much, yeah.
Ah, that stinks. I haven't been to Donovan's Reef, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't been.
Yeah.
I hear good
haven't
things
been.
though.
I haven't been there since they rebuilt, which was
Yeah.
recently.
Right.
It was like last year. I keep
They
saying
opened
it
up
like
last
it was.
year, yeah.
Yeah.
I go
But
to a
they've been
Donovan's in
closed for like 5
Manchester.
years.
Yeah.
So
Wow. Yeah, but I
Crazy.
keep hearing about it.
Wait,
Like,
I'm sorry, Bri. What did you just say?
I said I go to a Donovan's in Manchester.
Oh.
Oh.
Because I'm thinking, like, how long ago was the storm?
We did this last.
Oh,
Week.
yeah.
It was like
5
2012.
years. Okay. Well, that's like 6 years.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy?
It is. It is.
Because a lot of, like, Vicky is not asking, don't want to, you know, but, like, Vicky's super young, so she does not know of these places before the storm.
Right.
Yeah.
'Cause she wasn't
Yeah.
21.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
think
I was
we
we're
already
talked
still
about
mad
that
at
last
you.
week.
still mad.
Still angry. If you're listening, we're still mad.
She's not listening. Who would care?
Yeah, whatever. Vicky. Tell you about
No,
it
she
later.
what? She did last time that she
Aw.
wasn't here.
Yeah. Where can everyone find all your stuff, websites and whatnot?
So, funny story. I need to update my website. But pretty much super easy. Everything is Bri LoBue. So, like Instagram, Bri LoBue.
Cool.
So BriLoBue. Facebook, Bri LoBue. iTunes, Bri LoBue. And when I pay Wix to update my website,
Oh.
that will be BriLoBue.com. And in terms of the Nines, everything is the Nines NJ.
Yeah.
The Nines New Jersey. So the Nines NJ is our Instagram handle, Facebook, the 9NJ, literally everything. So
Nice.
Bri LoBue, the 9NJ.
Awesome. Awesome.
I kind of like the NJ at the end of the names.
Thanks.
We do
You
that
know?
too.
Yeah.
Do you? Sweet
Yeah.
Talkers NJ.
Yeah.
Can I
It's also
ask
under
where
pressure,
Sweet
NJ.
Talkers came from?
Do
Do I want?
I had, cause see now.
No.
There's a
Alright.
long story and a short story.
Yeah.
Okay, give me the spark notes.
Well, we made a list of names that were possibilities. We're like,
Yeah.
all right, this is kind of going to be the best one.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no
Can
real,
you
like,
give me
good
some of your
story.
other, what were your top 3? Are you okay with revealing that information?
I guess
think
we
so.
could at this point.
We had it down to 2. We had just so we signed with a new agent
Oh, okay. So is
about
that
a month
bets.
ago.
so that was the reason for the name change?
Partially.
Yeah, they
I
were
see.
like, you can if you want to, you don't have to. And then we kind of talked about it, and we were like,
Tired
fuck
of
it,
people
let's.
asking us if we're a Queen cover band.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I get, because I really do like the name, and I guess just because I'm so used to it that,
Yeah.
over time, of course, you're going to be like,
Right.
oh, I love that name, because you're just used to hearing it.
yeah.
But, yeah, most people, I'm sure that probably got very annoying.
It was literally almost every show.
Yeah,
Somebody
yeah.
would just be like, and you made a good point too.
And I don't think you guys play any Queen whatsoever, which makes it even funnier.
Yeah.
I like the irony personally, but most people are probably, they're like, when are you going to play? You know,
Yeah.
so it just,
Under pressure.
right. It's funny because we play under pressure.
We used to. It just kind of like.
It just fizzled out. Yeah, it's not one of our
Too bad there
top
wasn't a
hits,
song
but-
called The Nines that
Ah.
we could cover, and we could be
That
like
would be funny.
that would have
reverse
been
cover
cute, and
band.
we could.
buddies.
So Under Pressure's out. R.I.P.
Sweet
Sweet
R.I.P.
Talkers are in.
we just
and what was the other
made
name
a
you said
list
you were
of,
thinking
of
of?
stuff. We had it down to that. We were like this close to going with something else.
Will
She
you
wants to
reveal-
hear
I
it.
want to know.
Now I'm like blanking on it.
Because there were
Audio.
several.
It was Audio Attraction,
Audio Attraction. Okay.
which we were like, we
It's
thought
a lot.
we came.
It is a lot.
It's a
Yeah.
lot to say, especially if you're like
And then I get confused
somebody's
with
drunk. And
Yeah.
you're
Audio Slave,
Audio Attraction.
Audio Addiction.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Riot.
audio. Yeah.
Exactly.
Sweet Talkers, I feel like, is also just, it kind of rolls off the tongue. It's easier to remember too.
Yeah.
Audio Attraction is cool, but I don't know. I like Sweet Talkers.
So we made the
Thank
right
you.
choice,
Yeah.
according to Bri.
I think so. I have some, I could tell you the 2 names that the Nines were going to be if we weren't the Nines. Thank God
Oh.
we went with the Nines.
Do it.
So, every band does the same thing. You just make a list,
Yeah.
right? And so some of our other options, I actually really liked this one. Pros and cons in cons, because all the guys wear Converses. So pros
Right.
in cons.
That's
So
pretty cool.
pros and
Pros
right?
I like.
I
That's
like.
cool.
I'm still if we ever change our name,
That's cool.
pros and cons.
Yeah.
But the other 2, which are just absolutely awful, were B sharp. Speaking of dad jokes.
Yeah.
There's a music store in
Yes.
Shrewsbury.
Right,
that's
exactly.
B
Pass it
sharp.
all the time. B
Yeah.
sharp. And oh my gosh, wait.
They're great, by the way.
Yeah, are they?
Yeah.
That's funny because I pass it all the time, and that's
If you need
always what I think
guitar
of.
work done or
Oh,
even
that's
amp
good to
stuff, they have a
know.
guitar guy and an amp guy.
Nice.
fantastic.
Good to know.
Good shit.
Cool. Shout out to B sharp.
Yeah.
Sorry for making fun of your name.
Theirs
No,
is
but you know what? It's cool.
B-E sharp.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's fine. It's cool.
Imagine the new young kids walking past the B hashtag. I
Right.
don't
Yeah.
get it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now that's
know, yeah.
seriously a thing. People would be like,
Oh, my
"What?"
students say
I
that
don't
all the
get it.
time.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm like, okay, so what is
Hashtag.
this? They're like, a flat sign. And I'm like, what is this? And they're like, a hashtag.
Hashtag.
I used to, a couple years ago, I would get the number sign, which makes
Which
sense.
makes more
And
sense,
now
right.
it's changed to not even the number sign, it's a
A
hashtag.
hashtag.
And I'm like, get out of my room.
Get out of my classroom.
It's a tic-tac-toe board.
Now you're dating yourself.
Yeah. It happens on
I
every
used to get
episode.
students in
Every
that
episode.
too, though.
Yeah, so that was, I'm thankful that we went with the Nines. And then there was another one. Oh my gosh. Sometimes these guys, something about it was fish and chips, something
Oh,
so bad. Yeah, so I like the 9s. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
You know? And then, but the one thing that we do get all the time, kind of like the under pressure thing, is like, there aren't 9 of you. And we're like, well, that's not what it is. We dress to the 9s.
Right.
We play to the 9s.
Right.
Like, that's the motto.
Yeah.
Everything is done to the 9s. So,
Right.
and then everybody's like, their minds are blown. They're like, I see people, it's so funny. Like, drunk people are like, 1, 2, 3, 4.
God.
And I'm like, that's not it.
Not
and they're
it.
like, wait, there's not 9 of you. I'm like, no, there aren't. No, there are not. Think a little harder.
Come on, you could do it.
You could do it. Try
Use that brain
again.
power.
3 strikes and you're kicked out of the bar. So
If only.
yeah, yeah, right. Oh, jeez. I feel like no matter what name, like you're always gonna get drunk people that are like, blah,
Totally.
blah, blah, blah.
Totally. That's how we were like bouncing stuff around for so long, and we were just like, nothing's perfect.
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna
I like
be
the
perfect.
logo too. I think it looks good.
Thank you. Vicky's cousin, bless you.
Ooh, thank
Bless you.
Thank you.
Vicky's cousin's a graphic designer, and she
Nice.
we kind of came up with like the concept, and then she finished it up and
Right. Yeah. It
did
looks
some cool
good.
stuff.
And the Sweet Talkers
Perfect fit,
bandana. Now available online.
Yeah, just
Where
order
all
it from the
bandanas
same
are sold.
place. Exactly.
Just don't tie it too tight.
Yeah, I know, or you'll lose feeling in your head.
There's got to be like disclaimer.
May cause
I
blindness.
cannot believe. I cannot believe how bad that was bothering me. And then just, all I did was loosen it. I'm like,
Oh man.
He's
Well,
like, "Oh, what
before-
relief.
Before we sign off here, I forgot to mention this earlier, where we're playing this
Right.
weekend.
yes.
Friday we're back at Tom and Jerry's, which is in Folsom,
Folsom.
PA.
Oh wow, cool.
It's like just outside Philly-ish area.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Um,
First time there? Or no?
it's cool.
You've
No,
been- or
we've been there twice
Oh, cool.
already.
Twice. It's our 3rd time.
Cool
So
spot?
It's okay.
It's
I shouldn't say that
different.
It's okay. It's,
It's
different.
That's a nice word.
I like it. I think it's pretty cool. I really like
Cool.
the stage setup. We talked about that in one of our episodes
Yeah.
too, because it's like you're it's so hard to describe. It's like you're kind of above everything, but kind of on the level.
Interesting.
Because it's like it's almost like instead of the stage being raised up, the floor is lowered down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's
And
cool.
it-
The people there are just people who. It's a very
Super
like
cool,
towny
super
kind of bar.
nice.
Right.
And it's like everyone knows each other, and
Cool.
they
Those are fun
love
places.
music.
Yeah.
And apparently it gets crazy. The last time we were there, there was like something else that was
Yeah,
going
there's
on
another
down the
event.
block, so it wasn't that crazy. But
Right.
apparently it gets like.
I'm
nuts.
kind of
Nice.
I'm excited for it.
I think it'll be good.
Going there this time is going to be, even though we've been there twice, it's going to be like a fresher experience. And this will be the first time that we're there as a Sweet Talkers as opposed to Under Pressure.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like
So,
a brand new
Yeah.
Hopefully.
thing.
So that'd be good. We're down in Maryland for the first time on Saturday
Cool.
at Red Eyes Dock Bar in Graysonville. Graysonville? Graysonville?
Is there a Y?
No. Grassonville. Grassonville?
I think
Graysonville?
Also be
If it were a
Grasonville.
Y, I would say
Grayson.
Grayson, but I don't know. Maybe Grayson.
Grayson?
But
I don't know.
1S, right? Or
Yes.
One S.
Grassonville.
There you
That's it.
go.
Yeah, I
That's
think that's
definitely it.
actually the correct pronunciation.
Red Eyes Dock
Have
Bar.
you been there before?
Yeah, well, I own it, so.
I own it. That's on the earlier side. That's 8:30.
Right.
We're there probably outside.
I believe so.
Looks really nice. We were checking
the
out
pictures
photos.
look great.
Yeah, nothing like a good summer outdoor show. That's
Love
just
that.
A
Like,
fresh new,
yeah,
you know.
right.
New venue for us. And then speaking of outdoors, we'll be at the Patio Bar in
Yes.
Point Pleasant on Sunday.
Love the patio bar.
6
oh,
to
on Sunday,
10.
that's fun. Cool.
It's the perfect Sunday gig. It's 6 to
Perfect.
10.
Yes. Awesome.
It's early. It's family friendly.
Right.
Bring the kids.
Love patio
Still
bar.
wish I didn't have
Outside.
work on Monday though.
Uh,
Get a
Well,
At
little-
least it's not
get a
too
little nutty.
late. I mean,
Yeah.
True.
6 to
We
10.
can get our day drink on.
Think about it. Like normally
Day
you
drink,
start
yeah.
at 10. So if you're ending at 10, not a
Yeah.
bad
Yes.
night.
No, it's
Yes.
perfect.
Sweet.
It's
Yeah,
perfect.
patio bar is really cool. I know I was saying before
Maybe I'll just
we
indulge
went
anyway.
on.
You should.
Yeah, just
You're
do
going
it.
to.
Of course.
It's
I'm going
4th. You
to.
know, it's like just start 4th of
That's
July
right. 4th
on
of July
Sunday.
weekend, and then
It's all just gonna roll into the next. You know.
right. And then Monday. We're back at Nardi's. We've already started our residency at Nardi's.
Yeah, that's awesome. Every Monday, right?
Every Monday.
Awesome.
This Monday should be pretty awesome with 4th of July.
Definitely.
Are
Are you guys playing anywhere on the 4th of July?
No.
Nice.
And
you
we
can
actually
just,
don't
like,
have
live.
anywhere. Yeah, we could just live,
Isn't that nice?
go see fireworks.
Right.
Cool. And then we're actually off the following weekend as well, which
Nice.
is nice, but we'd rather be playing.
Yeah.
I know. I
But-
get it. It's like bittersweet because then you're like, wait, what do I do with myself?
I know.
Are you guys anywhere local that weekend?
That
Maybe
what
we'll
is it?
come out
Hold on.
like the
Pull it up.
6th and 7th.
Hold that thought. 6th and 7th. We're not unless you wanted to crash a wedding, which I mean I'm okay with.
I mean, bridesmaids?
Yeah, that's
We
what I was
will
gonna say.
be
Single
at-
bridesmaids.
Man, that's the thing. It's so tough. Everybody's like, oh, like where are you playing this month? And I'm like, literally all weddings.
Your wedding season.
Which are fun. Like
Yeah.
we like weddings and
Right.
but it's tough because all summer long that's like the hottest season for weddings.
Yeah.
Everybody's like every single weekend. So you gotta soak up those shows when they come. We're
Yeah.
like, seriously guys, mark your calendars because they're far and few between.
Yeah.
So that's
Makes
it.
you all the more desirable.
That's
That's
right,
right.
Joe.
Hey, you know.
Hey.
Cool.
So-
Well,
Words of wisdom.
anything else, or should we wrap this up?
I'm looking at this package of lemon Oreos.
Oh right. Do you want to
Oh,
try
we
it?
usually try a different Oreo on the podcast.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Joe,
We-
you've kind of been like the guinea pig all night. Like we made you try the beer.
Yes.
So you should probably just try the lemon Oreo.
And
Oh,
just be
I'm gonna-
miserable.
It's all you, Joe. And you brought it up,
Well,
to
we
be
all
fair. Like,
have to sample it. So,
Okay,
Bri,
fine.
you're having an Oreo.
I mean, twist my arm, I'll have an Oreo.
See, I can now also give you a list of Oreo flavors that are pretty good.
Yeah? Oh, yeah. What
What's
have you
up?
guys tried?
Which one was the best? That cinnamon bun one.
The
Ooh,
cinnamon
that
bun one
sounds
was really
so
good.
good.
The salted caramel one.
that was
good?
great too.
Thank you.
Lemon creme Oreo.
Lemon.
Pass it down. That one's nice and creamy.
Yeah. Listen, you were either gonna go with thick or creamy, so it was one or the
It
other.
was a lose-lose. I tried to play it cool.
Listen, I think this has been our cleanest podcast.
It
Really?
ha-
Aw.
It's usually
'Cause of me,
gets.
guys.
yes. Well, I'm trying to.
We're all trying to.
trying to be respectful.
Trying to be gentlemen. Aw.
Smells nothing like lemon.
Well,
Listen,
it's
people, I
natural
know them
flavors.
off the podcast. Don't worry about it.
Oh, I like this eating.
Yeah, twist your
Bri
facts,
has
yeah.
a really different way of.
You don't do the twist?
I mean, not when I don't have milk.
Come on, let's twist again like we did last summer. And then you.
Oh,
Very
you fucked up the
successful.
twist.
You gotta get a little like scoop it on there. Wait, you're trying it. Is it good? You're like not
Wow.
saying
I
anything.
thought we were
just
going
eating
for
it.
it. I
Well,
thought we
how
were
is
going for
it?
Tastes like Pine Sol.
Does it?
I can't wait.
What was the one? There was we tried the pina colada one. That tasted
Oh.
like an air freshener.
Yeah, that's not great.
It's not great.
Ew.
And like, I feel like I'm pretty easy to please in terms of food, especially Oreos. And
It tastes like shitty lemon meringue pie.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
eating that again.
Or a yellow starburst.
right, but in a cookie.
Yeah, and not in a good way either. Or no, it tastes like the lemon
And
flavored
yet I'm
tricks.
still eating it. No, I'm trying to figure out what it tastes like because it's reminding me of something
I
from
don't
my
hate it.
childhood.
Tricks.
Lemon meringue
Trick
pie.
cereal, Bri. Have you ever had Trick cereal?
Yes, it does taste like tricks. But there's something else.
I honestly don't hate it.
I mean, I'm still eating it, so I guess it's not
Yeah.
that bad.
I'm done with that.
Nick's like, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
Nick's more of an Oreo connoisseur.
Yeah.
So which one did you like? What was your top?
The cinnamon bun probably.
Yeah,
and
that sounds
then,
nice.
Yeah.
Don't
Okay.
say pistachio because I didn't get to try that.
I didn't try that one either.
Don't try it either. Nicolina's hiding
This
it,
tastes
leaving
like
it for Vicky.
something. How
Oh,
long
so
have these
Vicky's
been
the-
around? Like,
I
were
don't
these
know.
around when we were little nuggets?
No,
No.
they're
I don't
think
definitely
so.
Does
new.
it taste like... I feel like there is a cookie that tastes like this from my childhood.
It's nasty.
Joe, are you in pain over there?
I don't know. The
Wash it down with the beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna wash.
Just
With the
chase
beer
it with
he
the
hates.
IPA.
Could wash it down with the IPA. Yeah.
First he brought in the wrong seltzer, then we gave him a beer he didn't like, and now he's eating a fucking Oreo
Poor
that he
Joe.
hates.
This is the Tortured Joe
And he tied
episode.
his, he tied his bandana
And
to
he
his
strangled himself.
Poor Joe.
Hasn't been a good day.
Aw, sorry,
See,
Joe.
that's how, because now, for me, and not that I'm complaining or saying anything about, I'm sure everyone.
You know when
has
you
their
preface it like
things.
that.
We're
Okay.
judging.
we get up. I get up at 6:30. Go to work with those kids,
With
which I
those-
love. But I mean,
Aw, so
I
many of
think
us
I had
teach
to
kids.
fight 2 or 3 of them today.
Nice.
Punched him in the face.
Like, well, I mean, I didn't punch them, but I'm pretty much literally fighting them.
That's nice.
That's
Go do a gig, come back, because we do the Monday nights at Nardi's.
right.
3 hours of sleep. Go do it again.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no,
Usually
that's a
I
lot.
have to teach a drum lesson after work on Tuesday and then do the podcast. There was one podcast that I came to. I was so tired. I don't think
Did you
words were
sleep?
coming out.
You
I
should
try to
have
take
just slept
naps
on
as
this
much as I
couch right
possibly
here,
can.
With a
And the
microphone.
podcast should have.
with the microphone.
Just me.
And then
Microphone
just
should
snoring
have-
in it. Snoring in the microphone.
Just sleep
And then
talking.
be like, and what do you think of that, Joe?
The sweet snorers.
The sweet snores.
The sweet sleepers.
Ooh.
That's a good one.
Ooh, that's it. Name
Put that on
change.
the list.
Add it to the list. That's nice. And people are like, what do you mean? What does it mean? Figure it out.
Where did you guys come up with the name for your band? Well, there's this girl in this other band. She came up with it.
And she's in the 9s, and no, there aren't 9 of them, so don't worry about it. So enough with your questions.
Alrighty. Should we wrap it up then?
Yeah.
Okay, so check all of us out
Yeah.
at sweettalkersnj.com and the9snj.com.
Yes.
Ooh, got him.
Yeah, you go.
Thank you so much for coming out and
Yeah, thanks
being
for
a part of
having
this. Come
me.
back anytime.
Of course. Thanks, guys.
Please,
And,
I think
uh,
you're gonna have to be a repeat guest.
Yeah, we
I'm
got a lot
totally
more
down.
that we didn't even dive into.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
And,
sure. And we'll bring better Oreos next time.
Yes.
But
Yes.
still the same beer. Or
Or like a different IPA. Oh,
Yeah.
you know
Oh,
what? We'll just
here we
make it
go.
a thing that
Okay.
we keep making Joe try all the
Beautiful.
IPAs.
You could do that.
This
Like I
is
said,
good.
I'll suffer myself for comedy.
last question, favorite
Ready.
IPA or
Oh.
current favorite
Oh my
IPA
gosh.
for all the
Okay.
beer snobs like us out there.
Wow, that's really hard.
You're
Okay,
also
so-
you're also a whiskey drinker too. Which,
Yeah.
We're not broadcasting
Love
in
whiskey.
Hoboken, so
Okay, just because you don't like IPAs, Joe, you don't need to be a part of this conversation.
yeah, yeah. In fact, I'm
Nick,
gonna
do
turn
you
off
like
your
IPAs?
microphone.
You
You've been
might as
quiet.
well.
Do you like IPAs?
No, I don't drink
You
really.
don't. Oh, well, okay. So
Nick
my
likes premium malt liquor. Steel
oh,
Reserve,
excuse
Old
me.
English,
Colt 45.
Colt 45.
Two zigzags. Okay, so that's tough. I would say, man, you know what? It's like, it's crazy because I feel like I always try to have a new one every time I go out somewhere. I
Yeah.
just want to have like the local.
Have you had the Asbury Park one yet?
Yes, I have.
I can't remember what it's called.
Me neither.
I haven't had that
man.
one, but I've had like their stout and the blonde and
Yep.
one of their other ones, but I haven't had the IPA yet.
I'm trying to be honest, I don't even remember, like, I couldn't even tell you what it tastes like, but we were talking about this before the podcast started. Shout out to Victory Golden Monkey.
Hell yeah.
Really good because it's sneaky. Like, it doesn't taste like it's strong.
Right.
You don't
It's
expect it to
smooth.
be. It's
It's
very,
very
smooth,
smooth.
and like refreshing. And you're like, ooh, this is delicious. And then you look at the alcohol content and you're like, whoa, surprise.
And it just says you're fucked.
and it says, uh-oh.
Yeah.
And it's the monkey like this.
Yep.
So yeah, that's a good one. But yeah, I try to just like, it's very rare that I find an IPA that I don't like.
Yeah.
I think there was one, actually, I was just in Philly, and thank God I asked the bartender to try it, because normally I'm just like, I'm sure it'll be fine. Like, give
Yeah.
me whatever IPA, like what IPAs do you have? Cool, I'll take that one. I tried it and it was like so sweet and did not at all taste like an IPA. Yeah, it was pretty gross. I was like, man, thank God she gave me like a little sample. I was in Philly at some bar somewhere. And then I actually ended up having wine instead, because I was like, it was that bad. I was like, I'll have what she's having.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one's good.
This one's
I
really
like
good.
this,
I like
yeah.
their all day IPA.
I do too. Yes.
You can drink like a million of them.
Founders. I actually had a Founders that wasn't even an IPA, and I was like, you know what, this is good.
Yeah, I've had their
So,
stout. It's really good.
Shout out to Founders. Good job.
And
if
I
you'd like
love
to sponsor us.
Send us beer.
the other local brewery, Carton,
Oh yeah, yeah.
They're-
Carton IPA is good.
double IPA. It's like their double. That was like one of the first beers they ever
Dubskis.
made, and me and Andy always used to drink those at gigs. Used to get fucked up in my younger days.
Back in my
I was
youth.
about to say,
My youth.
hence him not being here.
And we'll
And
leave it at
he's
that.
dead. That's terrible.
All right. Thanks again. Come back
Yeah,
anytime.
thanks, guys.
Thanks
And,
for being
so
um,
fun, of course. I'm so glad you loved it, Joe.
I
Yes,
I
and
love
that's
to
all
make
for
fun
tonight.
of it.
And we like making fun of you too, so it works out.
Well, aren't you just the sweetest?
Love you.
All right, push the damn button.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.